Hello, Serge here from the backyard driving range. All right. I have a question that came in to customer service, and it goes, Serge, I have been watching your videos for some time. I am 70 years young with back problems, but the PPGS has helped to no end. So that is absolutely awesome, and I never get tired of hearing people say that, how the Surge Swing has helped with their back problems or any other physical issues they have that was causing pain and everything else. I can't ever hear that enough, and it's just a great thing to happen. And that's what it does. That's one of the big issues it is, because the Surge Swing is the only swing that conforms 100% to physics and 100% to physiology. So to continue, after watching today's video, it looked as if your knees were moving too much. I always like your saying, the knees are the bees and they will sting. They will sting you. Can you elaborate on this subject? Well, I'll first off by starting to say the only way the knees are the bees and they'll sting you is if you're moving your knees too much. And so because that means you're going to allow yourself to have too much movement, which will very likely allow you too much turn. And with all that movement, you can start changing if the knees change, then that means like I like to talk about the 3 blocks that we have in our body: ankles to knees, knees to hips, hips to shoulders. That's allowing those blocks to start moving, which ultimately does what? Everything's can start moving all kinds of directions, and you're losing your spine angle, and that spine is critical because the center of gravity of the body is at the base of the spine. The center of our swing is at the top of the spine, and when we lift our arms properly, the arms lift up in the shoulder sockets. The left shoulder socket comes up to the shoulder in the backswing, and then not to the shoulder, but to the top of the neck, and then the right shoulder comes there. So our strings are swinging around that point, like the string would basically be like the spokes of a wheel, and they're swinging around the center of the circle of where it's attached, so to speak, for the swing, which would be at the base, at the top of the neck. All right, the top of your sternum. So with those things brought in mind, I need to address the point that you felt I was moving my knees too much. Well, I think I can safely say, because normally I tell people, never say never, because that's one of the things I think in this world that can come back to bite you. But I think that I can pretty much stand here in front of the world, since the Surge Nation is in 122 countries all over the world. In fact, the World Golf Foundation, I found out, is in only 116. So we got a six country lead on them. All right, so I think I could say in front of the whole world, at least the Surge Nation world, that I can honestly say that I can apply never to the fact that the Surge is going to A, move his knees too much, B, take too big a turn, and C, swing too long in the backswing. All right, and I think it's part of my DNA. And in fact, right now I'm actually trying to get a little bit more lift, because I think that will I've gotten a little bit short, and hopefully that I can do that lift and get up there and get a little bit higher lift. But the whole key is what? I have to do what? I have to maintain my spine angle. And so I'm going to work on that. So I'm trying to do more stretching for my back and everything else. But getting back to the left knee, I'm not avoiding the question. The left knee has to move a little bit. What do I normally always say? 1 to 2 inches. The whole key to the left knee is let's go back to why most everybody moves their knee too much. Because you were all told to do it, right? Most of all the instructors and everything to do, anybody that writes about golf instruction, when they talk about having the normal swing, which is a 90-degree at least turn and parallel up there, they realize most golfers have got no chance of getting there. Their bodies aren't supple and flexible enough, and so they say, well, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to lift the left foot, or at least turn the weight to the inside, and let that left knee move towards the right knee, create that K. That's where I get the term special K from. Special K is for breakfast, not backswing, okay? So we're gonna have the wide knee. So they told you that to be able to make a bigger turn and a longer swing and go to parallel. Well, those are 2 factors in the swing that we don't want, right? Because the definition of the peak performance golf swing is a limited turn, 3/4 vertical backswing up here, not to there. So the way we control that is we ride, as we sometimes call it, the skinny horse, or some people call it the skinny pony. Wide knees, outward pressure. All right, and we get the wide knees, and we resist the left knee moving. Notice I use the word resist. I didn't say we don't move it. We cannot move it. It must stay stable. We resist the movement, and I've always stated unequivocally that it can allow 1 or 2 inches of movement. It's usually about it for everybody, because I find most people, I say, look at your left knee and tell me how far can you move it before you feel your left hip being pulled by that movement of the knee. And most people say 1 to 2 inches. Some have even said less. Well, that's the key. You can move it as far as you can maintain that, because once that knee moves enough to stop pulling this hip, where is it pulling it? no matter how you're moving it, it's pulling it downward. And if the knee's going down, because it's attached to the hip, it's going to pull the hip down. If the hip goes down, the spine's going to get pulled, the shoulders and the head are going to start moving that way, very likely. And then when this goes down, guess what happens? The back leg goes straight. And so now boom, you're into reverse tilt. Now, people who are much more supple could probably move it a little bit more, or a little bit more, get away with it, where the swing's going back farther. But when at some point, when it finally grabs over and gravity enters the picture now, and we can get a tilt way up at the end of the backswing. Or they can get pretty good, but when they give that little bit more turn and everything else, bang, the spine goes, it tilts forward, and that's when I call it the reverse tilt. I now call it end of backswing reverse tilt. Now, the worst thing about end of backswing reverse tilt, it's the end. It's happening at the end, so there's no time to make a little bit of recovery before you transition. So the key is, once you've done it at the end of the backswing, if you stay ahead of it, you're going to have very steep angles of attack. You can chunk them, top them, pull them, block them. You can do everything. And you can also, it's a big cause of reverse weight shifting, where if you're trying to get back behind the ball, you're going to do that. So the left knee has to move a little bit. It allows, if you move it and maintain it and resist, it's going to add great stretch from your ankles all the way up through your thighs, into your hips, your lower back. And then you're going to have really good stretch. And all you want to do is stretch and lift. And then when all those muscles are stretched up, and you ring that bell and bump, now this starts that, and it just gives a little bit more stretch to now a little bit more stretch, because the lower body's starting the other way, all the way up to the hands of club. And when you finally maintain those wrists and that, like pulling that elastic as far as it'll go, and then when this goes that way, it just pulls everything right down, and that's when you rung that bell, bam, you just hit it to the finish. So it's all about resisting. It's got to move a little bit. It has to move a little bit. But on average, anything more than 2 inches, you get into a problem, because you're going to lose that stretch, and it's going to start moving your knees. And as you know, and you said you like, the knees of the bees, move them too much and they're going to sting you. Okay? And so we want that outward pressure, and that's the key. And remember, outward pressure only lasts in the backswing. Every now and then I find surgites who are trying to maintain it all the way. No, once you get up there and you make your bump, then the right knee fires. The outward pressure and maintaining the left knee is just in the backswing, to the top of the backswing, until you ring that bell, and then you fire, because now the whole left side's starting to bump, just like this, like hitting a door jamb, tapping a door jamb if you're standing here, and you fire to the finish. Okay? So a little bit of knee movement is good, as long as you maintain wide knees, outward pressure, and resistance. Okay? And it should be no more than 1 to 2 inches. So hopefully this clears it up, and everybody's going to get back to riding a skinny horse correctly, and maintaining that firmness, so you get that great stretch, so you can hit the ball more solid, straight, consistently, very likely longer when you get this, and shoot those lower scores. That's it for the search for today, and I'll be talking with you all again soon.